Hi everyone, so I am back with another video today. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with hypnotherapy. I have just recently had a session with Alba Weinman that took place on September 10th, 2023, and I was so deeply affected by it that I said to myself, you know what, I think I'm going to talk about it on my channel. I'm going to talk about what I experienced before going into the session, what happened during the session, and also what happened after, in the way of, you know, the after effects and how I feel like it immensely helped me. So I do want to start with a disclaimer that this video is going to be talking about my experience with hypnotherapy and my experience only. I am not saying that your experience will be like this, but my goal with this video is to have something out there that people can easily access, that can give them kind of an idea of what they're getting into. I have also seen through Alba Weinman, her YouTube channel, the videos, there's been a lot of comments from viewers on, you know, how did this help the person? You know, it would be great to see something, you know, from the clients after their session and how it benefited them. So that's basically what I'm doing today. I'm really excited to do it. I was, again, really excited to go into this hypnotherapy. I feel like I did really great with it. And I'm seeing so many changes that it's got me so excited that I just want to, again, share it with you all. So let's start from the beginning. I've been watching Alba Weinman for 8 years. One of her videos just popped up through my suggested feed. And the moment I watched the first video, I was hooked. I found this to be fascinating. Not only that, as a lot of people who are watching probably can, you know, resonate with this, I was getting so much information into my own life through watching these other people go into their past lives. It was actually amazing. I actually found, you know, these sessions to be quite comforting. I felt kind of understood. Things started to click. They made sense. And from the moment I probably watched the third one, I said, you know what, I have to try this. My soul did feel gravitated to try this. But again, as a lot of you can, you know, understand, it is a luck of a draw to get in. She's very, very popular for good reasons. And every time that monthly newsletter came out, I was just trying to catch it, and I just either wouldn't or I would, and I would put my information in and then someone else got it. So I do want to say that something that I have noticed, you know, as watching, you know, for so long is that I don't really think that I could have went there sooner. There was a lot of things that have transpired in my life in the past 8 years, and it made total sense as to why I had gotten in when I got in. So please do trust that when you do get in, it is your time. There's nothing to be upset about. Just really rely on faith and understand that the universe will guide you in the right time and, you know, get you into, you know, a session with her when it is your time. So August 2023 came along and I got the newsletter. I put my information in and I could not believe that, you know, it was accepted. So interesting enough, the magic started happening as soon as I got booked in. I kid you not. There was so many occurring changes. Like, it's just truly magical, this hypnotherapy. I think it's also tied in with Alba as well too, just having that elevated soul. You know, it just adds to kind of the experience, but let me just be, you know, patient here. So as soon as I booked, I started to notice some changes with me. So my appointment was in 3 weeks. I did have to fly there. She's located in Florida. But I started to notice I was not getting the intuition like I could eat heavy. I had to eat light. Now, according to Alba, you do have to eat lighter before you attend the session, but I somehow had missed that information. I guess I just didn't read properly, but luckily enough, my guides were like, slow down, just eat light, keep yourself light, don't eat anything like heavy meats. And the other thing that I noticed too is that I was purging a lot. I didn't understand what was going on. A lot of things were coming up. I was crying in the bathroom late at night. It was almost like I was getting prepared for what I was about to get into. And a lot of the things that I was purging were with respect to family situations that did end up coming out, you know, in the session. But this was also baffling. Now, the other thing that happened too that I found very interesting was that I started to get a little bit of cold feet. You know, you kind of think like you're going to book and you're so excited, but then once it really sets in, you know, that you're going there, you could get a little cold, a bit of cold feet. Now, what's interesting about that is that I started to have dream state meetups with Alba. Alba was there in my dreams, like a couple nights, you know, here and there, before I was, you know, attending the session. And I started to get an impression of like who she was as a person, and I was so comfortable. I just became so comfortable, and it was so magical that, you know, she was there encouraging me like it's gonna be okay. You know, there's nothing to worry about. But I really resonated with her energy. So I thought that was very interesting that, you know, I was meeting up with her before I actually met up with her in the physical. The other thing that started happening too is I was seeing a lot of these huge feathers everywhere. Kind of interesting, the day of my session, and I'm gonna insert a picture right now. This was in my hotel room. Now, I had already stayed there the night before, and I did not see this feather. I don't know how this feather showed up, but it was magical. I've never seen anything this big, but it was literally in my hotel room. And I really did feel like this sense of, you know, just being protected, and that, you know, I was there and there was a reason why I was going into this hypnotherapy session. So I just wanted to, you know, touch on that you may experience a lot of magic even before you book your session. There could be a lot of synchronicities, interesting, you know, dream state meetups with Alba, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting. But what you need to know is that these are your, you know, guides, you know, way of, you know, just keeping you kind of calm, I guess, in a way, or guiding you along so that you know, don't kind of back out. Cause I did feel like maybe, you know, they were doing this as well too, because I was getting cold feet. So now I'm going to talk about what it was like the day of the session. Let's talk about her property. Oh my goodness. So I found her place, and her driveway is quite small, but it's kind of interesting because as soon as your first front wheel tires touch her property, it's almost like you've entered into a vortex. It's actually quite interesting, and I was in awe. Like I said, you know, in my actual hypnotherapy session, I literally could not focus on driving forward because everything was calling out to me. I also had never seen that much greenery in my life. And, you know, up here in Canada, we have a lot of, you know, nature, but this was something different. And it was so magical as well too. I felt like I was being called to like little beings that were inside the grass. They were welcoming, they were saying hello. I literally did hear like, hello, welcome. So like her property was welcoming me before I even got to touch the doorbell. So let's talk about meeting Alba now. What a beautiful soul she is. You just feel it, you know, it's like a kindredness. It almost feels like you kind of in a way know each other, you know, from a past life in a way. But she was just so welcoming, and I really enjoyed like the session that we had before I went under, you know, hypnosis. We talked a bit, you know, everything I said to her, she understood, she got me. And what was really cool was that I actually shared some predictions that I had gotten about her, and she resonated with it. So that was a very cool moment between us. During those dream state visitations that I had before I went to the session, I did receive some messages regarding, you know, something for her, and she took very well to it. She acknowledged it. She understood it. So it was beautiful. And again, you know, meeting with her, there's just this sense of ease that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So, you know, she's exactly how she's portrayed on YouTube. She's the exact way. There's nothing different about her. Like, again, she's just a very beautiful soul. So now it's the moment of, you know, getting my session. And I was very calm, but I will say, you know, because I know a lot of people might resonate with this. I did worry if I would be able to be hypnotized or, you know, be able to follow instruction, but I was surprised at how well I went under. Now, I don't know if that's because I'm already very open. So I am a very intuitive person. I do have another channel. I'm sure a lot of you have followed me over from there to here. I don't know if that helped with it. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think that it has to be. But I was surprised at how quick I was into it. And that was very wonderful because, again, I had some fear and worry that I would not be able to be hypnotized. So during my session, I did receive a lot of imagery. I saw a lot, and it was through my third eye. I did hear, but I would say majority I saw. And what it feels like is a dream, but you're awake. You know, you're not sleeping. And it just felt actually very comfortable to see it, because when I am reading or I am with a client, this is exactly how I also receive my messages. So it was kind of interesting. And what I always tell my clients is, if you want to know what it's like, think of a part in a movie. Do you see it? What are the people wearing? Is somebody have brown hair? What does the shirt look like? That's how you see it. And as you kind of get into it, it becomes a lot more easier. But I will say though, during my session, I did want to pull more, okay? So one thing you need to do is be very patient with yourself during your session. Don't doubt yourself, because you could think you're making it up. But if you're just getting enough of what you are getting and you are, you know, relaying it out loud, and you feel like you want more, because that's something I was doing. I was like, give me more in my mind. And it just wasn't coming. Just trust that that's because you're not supposed to see it. You will get what you need to get the information. And again, just trust that whatever you're receiving is what you should be seeing. I really like, you know, what she calls her hypnosis sessions. I think it's actually perfect. A spiritual journey of forgiveness. I did cry a lot. I was affected by it. You know, another preconceived notion I had was, you know, when you watch all these people having their sessions, you think they're just kind of like, you know, going into it and then they get off the bed and it's like, okay, back to life. No, like, you are touched by it. You receive a lot of information, and it is very spiritual. It's very spiritual. And you do receive everything that you need in a way so that you can move on, okay? If there is a lot of energy that is like stagnating you, holding you back, it's beautiful, because this hypnosis session will give you the tools or give you the information so that you can move on. And I think we can all relate to, you know, things that hold us back, things that we are, you know, emotional about, things that we can't move past through. And that's why I really loved getting this session. Another thing that I would suggest that you don't do is judge what you're seeing. I did that a bit. There were some lives I just didn't really want to see. And, but they were exactly the lives I needed to see in order to, again, move on energetically. But just be careful with that. Don't judge. Just flow, allow the information to come through. And again, just keep yourself pretty neutral to what you're seeing. So if I could talk about the parts that I didn't like the most, majority of it was wonderful, but I would say when it came to the attachments, those were a little bit hard to, you know, go through, see. We did walk them back to the light, like you always see in, you know, her sessions. I won't be sharing those parts within my session, but I found those parts to be just a little bit something that is unpleasant. but it's not, you don't have to be fearful of it. And just know that we all have them. Most of us do. It's very normal. And again, just allow yourself to be guided through. Alba's amazing. She will guide you through it all. She will take you to where you need to be. So again, just allow yourself to receive. So let's get to the good part, okay? Would I do this again? Absolutely. I actually think that I'm going to wait maybe a couple years and try to get back in. I mean, if I could see Alba again, that would be a dream come true in itself, just because of how much I felt connected to her. It felt right. The whole thing felt right. And again, like I'm gonna use this word, it was very magical for me. But the after effects, I know everybody wants to talk about that. Now, I will say the first day, you know, I did have my session during the day, but that first night, it was a little bit hard to sleep, okay? It was kind of funny in a way because I felt like I kept hearing Alba's voice in my head, like when I was sleeping in my dream state, you know, just guiding me still. So I would say for me, it did take me a couple days to kind of like come out of that hypnosis state. I was very zen. It was very beautiful, but it was very zen. And I just didn't feel like, I was like, oh, is this going to be permanent? No, it wasn't going to be permanent. So if you do happen to feel like that after the session, just know that that's very normal. But my sleeping was, you know, pretty good. I am a person who, you know, I wake up at intervals. I don't usually sleep the whole night through, but since I've had this session, my sleeping has been wonderful. And I literally sleep right through the night. And I feel like I'm now getting the rest that I need. You know, and it's just so beautiful because, you know, rest and, you know, is a very big part of, you know, the body and what the body needs to, you know, function. And I felt like I could not function, you know, before I went in, always tired. I did pick up also a very nasty coffee habit. I had managed to dodge it up until, you know, this year, having one, but then, you know, I just could not function. So I started picking up this coffee habit and I don't drink coffee anymore. I don't need to. I've got a lot of energy, and it's all thanks to this hypnosis session. I don't ever feel tired. You know, I can cope, like keep up. And it's just wonderful to feel like that because again, I had been struggling with that, like just being tired all the time. Not feeling like I could make it through the day. And then again, like drinking this coffee. And, you know, I'm not trying to knock anybody who has a coffee habit or drinks a lot of it, but, you know, if we can have that type of energy without drinking it, that would be a lot better for us, right? So that's another thing I noticed. I did have to process what happened, okay? So I don't know how other people feel, but I did not just jump off the bed and, you know, go back to, you know, like snap out of it. No, like I had to process like what really happened. It was so intense for me. I did cry a lot during my session, but, you know, there was a lot that came up. And I would say, you know, after about 2 weeks, I felt like, okay, you know, maybe I could kind of like look at my recording, you know, but I couldn't look at my recording right away. Again, I had to process it. It doesn't mean that, you know, anything was wrong. It's just, again, my experience. I needed to process what happened. It was that impactful. This is somewhat life-changing, okay? I have to say it. It's somewhat life-changing. It's going to really impact your life. It's exactly what it is. And again, that's my experience, but it's soul-bearing, okay? It's soul-bearing, and I could not look at my tape right away. So that's another thing that I noticed. I also noticed too, so we did work through, you know, some weight gain issues, and, you know, who knew, you know, my weight gain was a result of, you know, something that had happened, you know, a lot earlier on in my life. The origin of it, well, we worked through that. And since then, I've really been eating a lot better. I want to eat better. Fruits are like, just look like banana splits to me, okay? Ice cream splits. It's just like, I can't wait to stick a fruit in my mouth. I love fruit. I love vegetables. I don't want to eat dead food anymore. This also has stuck with me, and I've actually, you know, since that session have lost 10 pounds. So I'm very grateful. Now, the other thing that I've noticed too is that whatever we had went through in the session that I felt like energetically I had a hang up about has surpassed. So whatever we had worked through in the session, I no longer feel like is affecting me. I feel to some degree that there's closure, and I can put it to bed now. I can put it to rest now. And they were things that greatly bothered me, held me back a lot, put me in, you know, a funk, you know, here and there, days where I was just not able to function. And I just feel like through this session, there's closure now, and it's just so peaceful. I do also feel like I'm also more peaceful. I'm very calm. My outlook on life is a lot more positive, okay? It's a lot more lighter. I feel like I can do what I came to do, and it's all thanks to this session. So I'm not gonna make this a super long video. I think I've said enough. Would I go again? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. I would only dream to see Alba again. That would be a beautiful dream of mine. But if it's to be, it's to be. But I would love to go again. And I think I might probably try in a couple years from now to get back in, because again, it is just so powerful. And again, she's very good at what she does. And, you know, she's very important to the process, okay? I think there's a lot of people who can do this, but I don't think everybody can do it as good as her. So this was my video. If you have any questions about, you know, my experience that I did not answer in this video, totally put them in the comment sections. I'll look at them. I'll also link her, you know, channel, you know, so that you can check her out if you don't know who she is right now at the time of watching this. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. It was a beautiful experience, and one that I felt very lucky to be a part of. So thanks, guys.